been said that planning is bringing the future into the present, so you can do something about it now. Polk County Parks and Recreation has a series of meetings coming up that residents of Polk County are encouraged to attend in order to meet the needs of future projects. All the details are coming up on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Jeremy Moretti. Here joining us in the studio today is Derek Harp, who's the Recreation Superintendent for Polk County Parks and Recreation, and Tracy Mullins, who's the Senior Planner for Polk County Parks and Rec. Welcome, guys.
How you doing?
Doing all right. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, no problem. We like coming to talk to you.
Yeah, so you guys got some meetings coming up that we want to get the public involved in, and why don't you talk to us a little bit about what's going on?
Absolutely. What we started is the master planning process again for Polk County. It's been a while since we've done it. We completed one back in 2000, so we've had quite a run here without one. So we're starting that process, and Tracy has taken this on and is for the next year or so is going to be working towards getting a result for us, and we're excited about the process and excited to share what the master plan is to people, and then what the process is going to be and when they can expect results and what those results will say.
Well, why don't we start off with what is a master plan and how does that, or is that going to impact Polk County Parks and Recreation?
Well, a master plan is a box of tools that we use to create new parks, recycle old parks, and make sure that our maintenance is up to standard for the residents of Polk County. As you know, if you go to a mechanic, an organized toolbox is something that makes the job go faster and cheaper. Mm-hmm. So basically what we're doing is we're going through a process where we're gathering information, we're doing a review of literature, it's going over all the old plans that the county has and finding out where we did things right, where we need to make some improvements. Then we're taking that information and we're going to the public in August at a couple of planning meetings, and we're going to discuss the type of a perfect planning, perfect park system that we want to have in the future. Okay. In November, we're having a series of meetings where people can actually come in and talk with us on how we are going to design our park system. By that time, we should have a pretty good vision of what folks in Polk County want to see in their park system. So December 1st, we'll have another meeting down at the History Center. We'll present the vision that folks have given us of the park system that they want to see. Then we'll write that up. We'll be having a final series of meetings in April where people can review the plan to make sure that we got it right. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be taking this to the County Board of Commissioners for their approval and hopefully pass it by an ordinance.
Sounds good. Well, with that, in going through the process, you talk about the planning for the future, the park system, and then also repurposing some of the other parks. How does that work with going over the existing parks and the repurposing of some of those? One
of the biggest challenges that we've had in this master planning process in the last is getting a firm grip on what we have currently. All the ball fields, all the lighting, concession stands, basketball court, all the inventory that we have. Also looking at what other cities have, school board has, and kind of putting it together as a county, because it takes a lot of people to provide all the recreational facilities, unincorporated and incorporated. So we look at that, we kind of look at what we have, kind of survey and see what the needs in the future are, and kind of tailor what we're doing, any renovation projects, things like that, towards not only what is existing, but what the trends are changing. Trends change all the time. Things that are popular now may not be popular in 10 years, 5 years, and we're starting to see that in this county. I mean, I've been here about 19 years, and the trends have changed. We've seen new sports that we didn't have 19 years ago pop up, so it's a very cool process. Ecotourism is bigger now than it ever has been. Dog parks are huge. We built 3 or 4 of those, and every time we open one, it's slammed. So those trends change, and those weren't existent, 19 years ago when I came. So that's it's a good process to go through. It's very interesting for us to look at how far we've come, the people that have been around a while, and kind of good to educate the new people that are coming into what all we have, because it's a very big county, and you don't always know what you have until you go and survey and take a look at what your inventory is.
Well, I know from, working here and looking over all of our services, we have a pretty extensive inventory of different parks. What are some of the ones that came out of that last master planning process back in 2000 that folks can kind of get an idea on what to expect for the future in this one?
What came about is, like I said, the one thing I mentioned, I'll say again, is dog parks came out of that, and we started getting information. 15 years ago when we went through it, this things are starting to come. But community centers always come out of it, and those weren't as a direct result, but those were things people asked for. They got away from, every park used to be a playground, athletic fields, and maybe a basketball court. Well, then racquetball, tennis courts, they come and go. We've done biking trails. We've done exercise stations. That came out of the last one, where we went in, where we have trails around the parks and put some exercise stations so people would work out and get their things in while they're working, waiting for their kids to get done with practice, things like that. So a lot of things came out of that last process, and we're kind of interested to see what this says, with, how far we've come in the last 15 years, 16 years, and where we're going next.
What are some of the current trends right now that you guys have been seeing in the last few years, kind of like what you had mentioned and seen before?
Well, back 20 years ago, roller skating was big, and the roller skates gave way to roller blades, and that went on for a while. Now we're seeing new sports like pickleball. We have a lot of seniors who are very interested in a game that's a crossover between table tennis and kind of regular tennis. It's played on a smaller court, it's played with a bigger ball, and it's been very, very popular among seniors, especially in the northeastern section of Polk County. We expect it's going to expand a lot. There have been pickleball tournaments locally. It's very big on the coastal areas. So we expect that that's going to be a major trend, and how long that will last, we don't know. We have other smaller things like the Harry Potter films gave birth to a game of Quidditch, where kids kind of ride a broom like a hobby horse and try to pull a kind of steel flag sort of a game. We've had some tournaments like that. So those are kind of great because they don't require a whole lot of facilities being built. It's not like having to build a swimming pool or something like that, which is very expensive, and
It's a little bit more low impact.
yeah.
And we've seen infiltration here in the last couple of years of lacrosse and cricket, things that aren't traditionally in the southeast. They're making their way into
Frisbee golf.
Frisbee golf has been, that's been on the radar a long time. We've been dealing with Frisbee golf for quite a while, but those things are going to be priorities where they may not have been 15 years ago. They're going to be priorities now, and a lot of them are dual purpose. We can use these facilities for multiple things, which is great about some of these sports. Where we have a little difficulty is when we have to try, with the limited park space we have, try to fit something else that can't be played on the regular open space or athletic field. Well, that's where we have challenges, is when, because our parks are fairly well developed. They've been around a long time, most of them, so trying to slide something else in limited space is difficult.
Sure. Well, I know this is a long process in doing the master plan. And I know one of the pieces we got kicked off just here recently was the online survey that residents can go on, take the survey and show their use of the parks, the frequency. How is that going to play into putting the master plan together? Is this more for those folks who can't make it to the meetings, or is it a supplement to it?
It's actually both. There's 4 stages to doing one of these master plans. There's an observation phase where we go around to the parks and we rate them and check on the maintenance and that sort of thing. And we also gather information through public involvement things like the planning meetings and the questionnaires online or on paper-based. You can also do it that way. When we have all the observations in, then we do an orientation. We take a look at our comprehensive plan, which the county board has passed a number of years ago, and make sure that we're aligned with all of the rules from all of the state agencies, all of the federal rules and regulations, so everything is compliant. Then once we do that, we make the decisions on what we can do moving forward within our budgetary limits. And then we do the final stages, actually writing the plan and presenting it to the public and getting the approval of the County Board of Commissioners.
Okay. You have all these different pieces in place, with the different meetings. How can someone who really wants to be a part of this, how can they get involved?
Well, attending the public meetings in August is a good first start. We have the open planning workshop called a charrette that's happening in November at the History Center. That will go on for 4 days. It goes on from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 o'clock at night on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then all day Saturday. And in that, we're going to be going over all of the new processes and types of park equipment that we're working with. We're also going to be designing the disc golf course for Loyce Hart Park. So you're having you can actually hands-on learn to be a parks planner by attending these meetings and have some serious input into how we design that disc golf park. Most folks don't know the complexities of how to go about creating a park. We have a number of regulations dealing with the environment that we have to deal with. We have to make sure that not only is the park area safe for people, but also safe for the animals who live there. So there's a conservation aspect to all park planning. So it's both people and critters there. And we want to make sure that all the interactions are good and not bad. That we have safe places for people to come and recreate, and that they're happy with the facilities and areas that we have.
All right.
The main way is visit our website, visit the county website very often. We'll have updates on when our meetings are going to be, a link to a survey. You can take the survey online now. And just pay attention to those things. If you want to be in the process, we'd love to. The more input we get, the better it is. So, keep checking out of that and show up to as many workshops as we can and fill out the survey for us. We'd appreciate that a lot.
All right, sounds good. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming in. Look
Jeremy,
forward to
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Polk County did its last Parks and Recreation Master Plan in 2000. They've built out the projects from that plan, which is now exhausted, and need to look at the future. They will also be looking at our park system, seeing what works, what is needed, and the planning to meet those needs within our budgetary system. Residents are encouraged to participate in the Parks and Recreation Master Plan public meetings. The first meeting is scheduled for August 25th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. at Norma Campbell Community Center, 2226 Karen Street, Lake Wales. The second meeting is scheduled for August 26th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. at the Wabash Community Center at 1230 Southern Avenue in Lakeland. While the final meeting is scheduled for August 27th from 3 to 7:30 p.m. at the Wilfred Smith Community Center, Winter Haven at 135 Avenue Y Northeast in Winter Haven. Public input is important and residents should contribute. For more information, you can give Parks and Rec a call at 863-534-2512 or look them up on the web at www.polk-county.net